get clear about our God selves and understand that nothing is withheld from us, then we'll realize that life awaits our asking. And that life gives us what we are ready to take. If you're not ready to take it, life won't give it to you. If you're not ready to ask for it, life won't give it to you. If you're not ready to engage in prayer and treatment, life won't give it to you. It can only give to you what you are ready to take, what you can hold. It can only give you those things. And so life then delivers itself into our capacity to receive. Into your capacity and my capacity to receive. My capacity to receive love. Your capacity to receive joy. Your capacity to receive peace. Your capacity to receive healing. Your capacity to receive abundance. It gives to us into our capacity to receive. I want to read you just a little bit out of this book, Unlimited Visibility. It's by Stephanie Sorensen. In her chapter called Use Me, she says that it's easy for us to get wrapped up in the physical world with its ups and downs, and to empower the downs with our thoughts and words. We must consciously and consistently remind ourselves that there is more to life than material form. There is a spiritual wonderment awaiting our perception. When we believe that we're only human, we cannot experience the spiritual being that resides simultaneously with our human being. When we forget that we are capable of expressing the positive qualities of spirit anytime we choose, we begin to believe that all of our behavior, no matter how reactive, limited, unloving, ungodlike it may be, is justified by our moral condition. After all, we're only human. And the human world is unpredictable, filled with people and events that demand our human reactions. However, if our conscious desire is to experience something beyond the flesh, then like St. Francis of Assisi, we could choose to be an instrument of spirit. We would consider, before we reacted, which of our potential spiritual responses would best reflect love and pardon and faith and hope and light and joy. We would remind ourselves to seek to console before being consoled, to understand before being understood, and to love before being loved. We would look within before acting without. And in the process, we would become an agent for the Almighty. She says, rather than being an instrument of spirit, we become a tool of the world. Our life becomes more about earning a living than expressing life, more about losing weight than gaining lightness of being, more about needing to be right than expressing righteousness, and more about controlling others than expressing freedom. We spend our time manipulating materially and not manifesting spiritually. And in order for us to give of ourselves, to be in this idea of nothing is withheld, then we have to be used, be willing to be used, to share what we have without feeling used. And there must be an element of trust for us to do this. We must trust that no one to whom we are giving cares about us. We want requited love, reciprocated love. And if our criteria for allowing ourselves to be used is reciprocal love, then it should be easy for us to allow Spirit to use us. In the Bible, we read of God's love. I have loved thee with an everlasting love, therefore with loving kindness have I drawn thee. Not only loved, but we have been sketched by love, designed by love. Love is in, through, and around us, resides at the very origin of our being. We are loved eternally, but we are willing to surrender our position of love's intention, particularly in situations where we feel we've been wronged or when we desire a certain outcome in a situation. She says it is not what we do materially in life that brings about fulfillment, but the qualities we bring to what we do. The greatest earthly success is meaningless if the qualities of spirit are missing. Our spiritual experience in every event is all that is meaningful or lasting. We can spend our life making sure that we don't go out on a spiritual limb, never apologizing when we're right, never forgiving when we're wrong, and portioning out our love, compassion, and understanding only to those who deserve it or at least can appreciate it, and in the process, we shall miss out on the meaning of life and our being meaningful in life. And so, and understanding this, and understanding our faith and our acceptance of the all good and the expectancy and the demonstrations in our life, not denying but affirming what we know to be true. She's talking about these things. And so we have to pray and treat until the demonstration has been made, until we know that God is within us and around us. And until we understand that God knows nothing about big and nothing about small, that God knows nothing about time and it is as instant as we desire a thing. You see, we're talking about proving it, manifesting what we desire in our life. The reading said that God gives us whether we want marbles or we want millions. It's up to you. But you got to ask. You got to prove it. You got to begin to manifest these things in your lives. And what happens is for many of us, we turn away. We turn away in the time of need, when we really need the prayer and when we really need the treatment. We tend to, I've seen it happen and occur time and time and time again, turning away from. Because it's easy to get caught up in the physical, as the reading said. And we have to be willing to be used without all the criteria of getting something back. So then, when we understand that and we find ourselves being willing to be used, then we are uplifted and up-leveled and realize that it's not that we are being used, but that we are being, not that we are using it, but that we are being used by it. Then we are demonstrating, proving it, manifesting over and over and over again. And then when that happens, and we realize that the seeds that we've sown and all that we've planted in our lives, that then there is a multiplication of the seeds that come back to us. So when we plant seeds of love and we get love back in our lives, it brings back with it a whole host of new seeds of love for us to plant. But if you don't have any demonstrations in your life, if you're not proving this, you have no new seeds. And the new seeds that come to you as a result of your demonstration is filled with the source and the substance of the all good. You see where it came from. We have to prove it. Manifest in our own lives the things that we desire. Have to be willing to be used and understand that nothing is withheld from us. Nothing is withheld from us. And though sometimes we may hinder our demonstration or even stop our demonstration, when we are dealing with guilt and a sense of unworthiness that it is time to let go of, that it is time to release, we can demonstrate now, we can prove these principles now if we decide. If you decide to. If I decide to. It can happen now. And so the other thing that happens is that there is this sense sometimes that we get in manifesting and in demonstrating the life that we desire, a real sense of guilt that sometimes comes over us. That is something like this. Who am I to receive all this love? Or who am I to receive all this joy? What did I do to deserve peace in my life? You got to be checking these things out, you see, because it can stop your demonstration. It can hinder your demonstration. I was working with a client for a year or so, and this individual, we were working together, and she was engaged in the principles and the practices, and we talked, and we came up with things for her, ways for her to practice. And then after some time, maybe about a year later, she came in and she was reaming and beeping, with joy, and telling me about the demonstrations in her life. How she had, the seeds that she had planted had come back 1,000,000 times fold. And that finally she could look at her husband and see the God in him. And that finally she could see the mirror that was before her, and all that she was denying about him, she could see that she was really denying it about herself. She could see where she had hindered and stopped manifestations and demonstrations occurring in her life. And now the floodgate had opened. And all that she desired was being made manifest. We could check it out together, you see. And she got to a point where she started crying. She said, but who am I? It just don't seem fair that I should have all this joy. And I said, well, listen, see, that's ours to do. That's the way the law works. And it's not that we hold back or withheld or deny, because my demonstration is your demonstration. When you see me demonstrate, then you realize that you have the same power and that the same presence is right where you are, and that you can demonstrate whatever it is that you desire. It's what we must do. We should be telling each other about our demonstrations and our manifestations. We should be shouting to the world that we have demonstrated love and joy and peace, and give thanks for it, and know that what's on the way is being reaped 1,000,000 times fold, that the seeds is plenty. There's more and more love. Love in ways that I've never experienced love. Peace in ways that I've never experienced peace. Joy in ways that you've never experienced joy. Abundance in ways that you've never imagined that you could be experiencing in your life. We've got to be able to prove these things, to have manifestations occur in our life. And the way we do it is through prayer and treatment. And here in our prayer and our treatment, there's 5 steps to it. It's recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. It happens in 5 steps: recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. That's how it happens. And so, in recognition, what we do is we recognize that we are one with God, that we are all that God is. That's the recognition and unification. So in recognition, we align with and become aware of all that God is. And then we unify with it. That's step 1 and step 2. And we're going to do it today. Me and you, because you got to do this. You got to pray. You got to pray. Come on up here, Kutia. Kutia is the best at this. Come on, Kutia. Come on, Kutia. Join me. I don't hear. Okay. Join me in demonstrating what recognition and unification looks like, what it feels like. And the reading said it's more than a word. You have to embody it. You have to feel it. You have to know it. And I don't know how this is going to work out, but it's going to work out, right? You and me, recognition, and then we're moving to unification. Okay. So, for me, what I do is I say, there's only one life. That life is God's life. It's perfect. It's supreme. It's everywhere. It's in me. It's around me. It's divine. It's divine. It's magnificent. It's wonderful. It's intelligent. It's intelligent. It knows everything. It's wise. It's wise. It's wise. It's wise. It's been here since the beginning of time. It's the tree, and it's more than a tree. It's the sun and it's more than the sun. It's the wind and it's more than the wind. It's infinite, it's infinite, it's infinite, it's infinite, it's infinite, it's infinite, it's giving, it's giving, it's giving, it's giving, it's giving it. Oh, there's only God. There's only God, there's only one mind. There's only one mind, there's only one mind, there's only one power, there's only one presence. There's only one idea, there's only one idea, there's only one thought being thought, there's only one idea. There's only God, there's only God, there's only God.
And because of this, I dwell in this oneness of God. I dwell in this allness of God. I know that every place where God is, I am. I know that I am the ocean, the mountain, the sea. I know that I am the sea that gives birth because I am one with this infinite source and presence of God. I know that it swings through me, in me, around me. I know I am anchored in it and nothing matters. I know that all that I need, all that I desire comes through me because of my oneness with this ultimate empowerment, supreme spirit that's called the I am that I am.
And so I know in every moment and in all that I do that I am one with it. It is animating in me. It is moving me, guiding me, directing me in every area of my life. There is no place and no activity, no situation, no circumstance where this divine power and presence is not. I'm one with spirit, always and forever. I am all that it is. I am the infinite intelligence that it is. The spirit of the living Almighty runs through my body, flows through me, acts as me, speaks for me, moves me into love, ushers me into forgiveness, opens me up to kindness, invites in love and more love. My oneness with it, I'm one with it now and forever.
Yes. And so it's at this moment that we move into this realization. We move into this recognition right here and right now, knowing that any needs, any desires that we're desiring, we're already it. It dwells within us. We only have to connect with it. We only need to have the mental equivalent to merge with it. So now at this moment is when we speak it into existence. If it's health, call it forth. If it's wealth, call it forth. It's a right to action, call it forth. Whatever it is, call it forth.
Come on and join me, practitioners. Come on and join Kutia and I as we move into the realization where we know and affirm that we have faith in our confidence and confidence in our faith. Where we know here and now that all of our needs are met, where we know that God is right where we are. And so I affirm this and know this truth for myself, for Kutia, and for each one of us here, that there can be no place and no space where we are and God is not. And so now in this moment, I know that the very words that we speak, and I know that each one of us do, because we're moved and we're urged by it in this moment to speak our word, to ask for what we want, to be engaged in prayer, to be engaged in treatment, to call forth the things that we desire in our life, to call forth love, to call forth joy, to call forth beauty, to call forth abundance, to call forth understanding, to call forth the clarity that we desire. And I know that there is a perfect law that says yes to yes. It says yes to me, and it says yes to you. And so I know now that we are just surrendering to, releasing, and letting go of anything within us that denies this truth. And I know that we are filled up and fueled up with the fuel of affirmation. And that as we go forth in our day, that we affirm and know good in all good. That we affirm and know that we are one with God in all that we be and in all that we do. And that everywhere we go, I know that there's a gentle whispering, a reminder to us that we have faith in our confidence and confidence in our faith, where we affirm and know and realize that our faith goes with acceptance and expectancy, and so there must be a demonstration. I affirm this to be true for me, and I affirm it to be true for you. I know about the absoluteness of this law. Oh, you've got to use it. And so I just give thanks for it. I give thanks for knowing this truth. I give thanks for everything within me that uses this truth. Everything that's within me that moves to prayer and to treatment in my time of need. I give thanks for this occurring in your life. That everything within you that moves you to treatment and moves you to prayer, calling forth the things that you desire. I give thanks for it. I give thanks for its ease and its effortlessness in its demonstration of love and joy and peace and abundance, clarity, understanding, acceptance, kindness and compassion. I give thanks for it.
Yes, we give thanks.